Should I give my doctor a draft of my thoughts about my residual functional capacity in a Social Security disability claim? Well, that's a lot of words there, isn't it? What's residual functional capacity? In a Social Security disability case, the Social Security Administration is trying to figure out at step 4 whether you can go back to the lightest or simplest job you held in the 15 years before you became disabled. At step 5, they're trying to figure out whether or not you can go back to other work in the mythical, hypothetical, not real world national economy in view of your age, education, skills, and whatever your restrictions and limitations are. You'll rarely see a doctor address in the medical records what your functional, physical, or psychiatric restrictions and limitations are. So we try to get at that by having your doctor complete a residual functional capacity form. Now, we lawyers have created forms for all sorts of medical conditions. It's a great way for the doctor to quantify what your restrictions and limitations are. But sometimes doctors don't want to take the time to do that, or they'll refer you off to a functional capacity evaluation. There are times when I suggest that my client complete in draft a residual functional capacity form. Now, this form asks questions about symptoms, about what a person can do or not do. And I suggest to my client that they fill it out, let me take a look at it, and then we consider having my client meet with the doctor to discuss what they think about the symptoms and the restrictions and limitations. We're not trying to put words or thoughts in the doctor's mind. We're just trying to nudge them to be thinking about it and see if they'll be willing to take this kind of information and fill out a residual functional capacity form. We're not asking the doctor to copy what we put in this RFC form as drafts. That's inappropriate. And we would never submit something that our client filled out and as what the doctor has to say. You know, that's a violation of the bar rules. It's illegal and it's unethical, and we would never do anything like that. What we're trying to do is to help the doctor help the client by seeing whether or not with this kind of information it will slow the doctor's thought process down and say, you know, maybe I am willing to complete these forms. I've gotten some input from my client. We've talked about it, and now I'm willing to complete a residual functional capacity form based on the input of the client, but what I think, not necessarily what the client thinks, from a medical standpoint about the restrictions and limitations. So that's just one of my tips in helping you get your doctor to complete a residual functional capacity form. And of course, if they refuse, they refuse. And that's the end of it. We may have to find another doctor, but we're not going to pester the doctor, and we're certainly not going to submit any fraudulent information to the Social Security Administration about your restrictions and limitations. If you have any questions about your rights to your Social Security benefits, call me today at 727-894-3188 for a complimentary consultation.